Yeah. What's going on, family? What's the business? Peace. What's going on? What's going on? Hey, Stacy, how are you? How are you this morning? The Hoodmystic, representing Hoodmystic.com. Got another message today, another energy reading. Today is August 15th, rather, 2018. These days just keep going and going and going. I appreciate you guys. Lately this week, I've been playing a lot of music that's my own. So if you hear music in the background, you like it or anything like that, email me or whatever. But yeah, this is just more or less my music. I've been more or less doing that because when I play other people's music, YouTube be sending me all types of disclaimers. So I was like, F it, just put my own music on there. Can't nobody say nothing, can't nobody sue me or get monetization off my videos. So that's that. But once again, I'm the Hoodmystic, representing www.hoodmystic.com. Just want to appreciate everybody for coming in on the live. Appreciate all the positive energy thus far. And I just want this place to be a safe space for positive energy. No trolling, nothing weird, man. Just normal, spiritual, talk, man. And that's what we do here. Patreon.com/Hoodmystic. That's the squad. That's the family. I'm gonna check back today because honestly my energy hasn't been the highest. So I'm gonna check back today and just more or less see what's going on with what's going on, if I missed anybody for the monthly readings. And if I did miss anybody for those monthly readings, I do apologize. PayPal.me/TheHoodMystic. That is the where you can pay for readings and donations and things like that. And other than that, man, Cash App Hoodmystic38. Remember to subscribe. Remember to hit the notifications bell to get alerted to these daily energy readings. And also, I would alert the family to just share these videos on your social media, on your Twitters, on your Instagrams, and your stories and things of that nature. Because you never know who this mic can help. Because we're dealing with universal energy. This is not my knowledge. This is our knowledge, and we're just sharing. So if anything comes up during the build, then make sure that you comment, or after this video, if you're not on the live, make sure you deal with the comments, because what we're going to be talking about is some dreams, and some dreams that I had. And if you connect on this, and maybe we can come to a connection point where, you know, these things begin to make sense to all of us. So give me 1 second. Need to do some maintenance. All right. I guess today is one of those types of days where Mercury retrograde is rearing its ugly head, because Mercury is retrograde in a second decan, and that's one of the first things that we want to talk about. We want to talk about the second decan of Leo, which represents Jupiter, and it's a hard square to Jupiter. And we really want to take a focus on this second decan of Leo, mainly based upon its influence of Jupiter, its influence of Sagittarius, and then we have a Mercury retrograde, meaning that most of the traction, most of the energy that Mercury like kicks up is going to be in this second decan. So I really want us to be mindful of what the second decan really means. Like, who runs it? Like 3-6 Mafia, who run it? Jupiter run it, and Jupiter is our divine lineage. It is our spiritual inheritance. And last night I had a dream about my divine lineage, like the ancestors that I came from. So if you, in the comments or in this video, if you had any dreams similar to kingship, or, you know, being a pharaoh, being a queen, being a goddess, being an empress, I really want you to take note of that. Be sure to write that down. Be sure to be very mindful of who you are as we begin to fully invest into this build, because what tends to happen is we have our dream world, our dreaming life, and our waking life, and we have a dreaming life persona or personality, and multiple personas and personalities, and we may view those as abstractions, as something from ourselves, but in reality we are dealing with our same self. But you might not get that based upon this square to Jupiter, which is a irreconcilability, which is a difference, which is something that you can't really get over. The fact that you're a human being and also this king, this blood of a king, this deeper understanding, this deeper knowledge, this spiritual lineage. But if you think of yourself as Shaniqua Jenkins, if you think of yourself as Thomas Harold, that was born in 1984, or born in 1956, or born in 1992, then the energy that I'm trying to fully elaborate on, this alien talk that I'm trying to fully elaborate on, this extraterrestrial energy that I'm fully trying to elaborate it on, is gonna be like weird. It's gonna be like, oh, that I can't get into that, brother. Good morning, Sierra. Peace to you. So this Mercury square Jupiter, if you're not clear on your human life, if you're not clear on your human understanding, then you're not going to be clear on this science. You got to be okay with shit. And now, if you're new to my channel, it's going to be something, but if you've been following my channel, it's something that I probably talk about in every video, is like really addressing the trauma, or really addressing the pain, really being able to speak about the things that happened to you that you haven't got over, the things that really impacted your psyche, the things that you really can't let go of, the things that really have you stuck in a particular time and space. As we move into 2018, a lot of you niggas is in 1999. Because some shit happened in 1999 or 2003 or 2010 or 2011. So it's important that we clear that energy, or address that energy through therapy, through counseling, through astrology reading, not to promote, but just seriously, because when we go through these readings, this shit comes up. Believe it or not. So as we deal with this, how are we going to really deal with it? Peace. Do we simply act like it doesn't exist? And then when we have these dreams or these visions of psychic abilities and psychic awareness and creating our reality and talking about the law of attraction and living our best life and smiling and all of that, it's like we on a ship and people is driving by and people still on the coast. Like, is you going to be waving at the people sailing away, or is you going to be on the goddamn boat? Because you couldn't clear this trauma, because you couldn't get over it, because you couldn't talk about it with somebody. When it came down to it, you was hurt and nobody could help you, probably in your family. So you might need to go outside of your family, because maybe your family is the one who's causing the trauma. And for you to be in a situation and act like this trauma don't exist, you ain't doing nobody no favors. So you want to get a reading, you want to get into astrology, but you're not really ready to talk about the shit that really hurt you. This is a square. This is Mercury square Jupiter. So if that resonates, that shows up for you, do something about it. Come to the understanding, come to the realization. There are some things like grief, like death. That's a square for your ass. Because there ain't shit you can do about death when somebody die, when somebody pass away. And no matter how much love that you have for them, no matter how much you depended on them, no matter how much you needed them, if that happens, that's a square. Peace. So as Jupiter being in Scorpio, in the land of death, of course this is gonna raise up, but at a certain level, it's ancestors too. And death not being a real thing too. And the perspective of understanding the ancestors and how they actually activate our lives and our understanding of consciousness. Because without death, we can't fully comprehend the full scope of our lives, because the people that we love have passed away, but have they truly passed away, or have they just transcended to a greater understanding? And so as I deal and connect with my knowledge, I am so grateful for my ancestors, for not dying, for still living. We still in Jupiter and Scorpio right now. So we just discussing the astrology in real nigga terms. So not for a way to be disrespectful, just so for all of us, for us to understand that this is our energy. This is our time. Jupiter is in Scorpio. We are Scorpio. We are talking about transformation. We are talking about the blackening phase, baby. Alchemy. Look it up. All these words, I'm not just making stuff up. I'm really throwing out sigils for you guys to do investigations on what's actually happening, how you can understand this energy. But I can't do the study for you. Nobody can do the study for you. You have to really understand. What does the blackening phase mean in alchemy? You should look that up. You should really understand Jupiter and Scorpio, because as you blacken, that is just a process of purification. And as you rise out of this, you will enter into Sagittarius, where you begin to understand your path. You understand the reason for it all. As long as you honor the ancestors, you're right, they are alive. And so it's more of being open to receive what they have to say. And you can't be open to receive what they have to say if you thinking that, you know everything. And so this is how we deal with Mercury in the second decan, is because we have to, Leo really represents studying and knowledge and really understanding who you are. You ever heard the saying, knowledge is power? And if Leo represents power, all of these things become synonymous within each other. You know, you can talk about pride all day long, but pride just means that you don't know shit. So you have to be prideful. If I know what's going on, then you can't use nothing against me at that point. You can't use black against me. because I understand what it means from an alchemical level. That is the biggest compliment you ever could give a person, that they're purifying themselves of all the toxins, of all the poisons of the world. And now we can look at the world in truth. And I don't have to be violent. I don't have to be mean. I don't have to provoke anybody. I can deal with my ancestral lineage, my Jupiter and Scorpio. And Mercury is also in conjunct Neptune. And you can see from Mercury a little green line that travels up to Neptune in the second decan of Pisces. And who runs the second decan of Pisces? Jupiter. And so when we have it in conjunction, we have a misunderstanding, meaning that these two planets don't really understand each other, but they are connected in some way. And so Neptune and Pisces is all about the dreams, the dream world, the dream life. And so if you're not decoding your dreams, if you're not understanding your dreams, if you don't have a dream journal and you're not really concerned about what's happening in the dream world, you're more concerned about what's happening in the waking world, then you is in a whole misunderstanding of reality as a totality. You are focused on one side of the boat, one side of life. And it's a whole nother side of life. And we speaking to the women, we speaking to the men who have this energy, these sights, these visions, and they're not putting them down in paper. They're not bringing them into reality. That's a fault. That's an issue. That's a misunderstanding. And hopefully you can bring this energy into full understanding, because as Mercury retrogrades, I'm sure this shit will beat your ass. This shit will bite you in the ass, because when the truth comes, you won't be able to see it because you'll be looking outside of yourself. When the truth comes, it'll come through your dreams. It'll come through your visions. So it's important for you to write this stuff down. It's important for you to take yourself seriously. There's nothing else that I could do for you other than a reading, and that, I mean, it could help you, but for real, it might not help you if you're not willing to do the work for yourself. It definitely will not help you if you won't do the work for yourself. It won't do shit. A reading from nobody won't do shit for you if you're not willing to do the work, if you're not really ready to understand yourself at a deeper level. I know it's difficult and I know it's hard, but this energy shows up. There is more to you than this human existence. So Mercury represents the lower level of Uranus, Uranus being the higher aspect of understanding our minds, how our mind works. Uranus is connected to our pituitary gland, which is also our master gland. And Uranus is more of a sense of calm, a sense of peace. And so every time I start this video off, I started off with peace, meaning peace is not something like a catchword or a slogan that I use. Peace is my state of being, my state of mind. You mess with my peace, you mess with my reality, because everything I create is based upon peace. I don't create through stress. I don't create through drama. I don't create through anger. I don't make love through anger and stress. I don't have angry sex with my wife. We have peace, love, calm, magical sex. Because through peace is how we enter the realms of magic. And this is just my personal opinion. This is how I set up my life, and this is how I set up my videos, my channel. Everything about me is designed specifically peace first, calm. And so Uranus square the nodes creates more of a distraction, more of a disruption to that peace, and still understanding that disruption and that distraction and these changes are necessary. I need to change. I need to upgrade. I need to get different shit in my life. And as this happens, I have to become peaceful. Understanding that peace is how I control my pituitary gland, which is ultimately my crown chakra. If I understand that I have a crown, if I understand that I have a kingship, if I can't be tripping on the human shit. It's really about a perception. It's really about a real state of mind. And so through this, we master our lives, we master our beings. And so as Uranus has hard squares to the nodes, South Node and the North Node and Mars and what we actually can be doing. The Serenity Prayer really comes up where we can deal with ourselves as our higher selves and that wisdom to know the difference. Some things I can do. Some things I can't do. I can't save everybody. I can save some people who maybe I see a cat in the sewer. I can save that cat depending if I'm on my way to class today. I don't know. It's like I can save myself. I can, you know, do as much as I can do. I have a wife. I have a family. I have all of these things. And, you know, I have customers. I have other partners and things of that nature. So, you know, we all have responsibilities. There's some things that we can do. There's some things that we can't do. Whatever we can do, whatever we can't do, we have to have peace in it so we can focus on our path. And this brings me to a story that I wanted to talk about. I really didn't get into the workforce seriously until I was about 28, 29. So my first job was a valet downtown at a four-star restaurant, a four-star hotel rather. And it was interesting. I love that job because I seen so many different types of people. It helped me learn about the human understanding, like different ways of living, because before that I may have had a narrow view of a human, of what a human could possibly do. And I'm only speaking on that to speak on this. There was this lady who came there every week from Thursday through Sunday on business. And this lady, she could not walk. She didn't have any legs, but she drove though. She drove. I don't know how she actually drove, but she really stuck out to me because she had so much adversity, but she drove a Benz and she got around with the dog, and like she was living her best life. And I know this lady had accomplished way more than I had accomplished in my life. And she had, like, she was completely disfigured and dismembered, but you couldn't really tell based upon the way that she was living. And so that really stuck with me, that really I have no excuses to live my best life, to really understand that, you know, what's ever going on in my life, I have to really focus. And because at that point in time, I was feeling bad for myself. I was feeling like, you know, somebody was holding me back. Somebody was stopping me. And nobody was stopping me but my damn self and my power and my ability to connect with self. And so I couldn't develop my relationship with the outside world until I developed my relationship with my inside world, and understanding that, you know, this shit is tiered. This thing is layered. And the more that I get in tune with self, the more positive I get with myself, the more positive that I really feel about myself, the more that this energy manifests in the world. So I want people that are going through shit, you know, to really absolve that shit, begin to talk about this shit, really deal with the core issues that really get you excited, that really trouble you, so you can really deal with this divine kingship. Because once you deal with this divine kingship, this Jupiter and Scorpio, as it begins to build through Sagittarius, you really are empowered. Like, it really isn't a game of who you truly are when you really understand yourself holistically. It's nothing that a person can say to you. It's no propaganda that can get to you. You're not really feeling any type of alliance to any country. You really have an alliance to yourself and your family and your understanding and really your deeper connection to the higher things. And so when we talk about aliens and alien talk, we're really talking about extraterrestrial, and terrestrial just means earth, and extra means just something outside of the usual, the expected. And so your dreams provide you extraterrestrial shit every damn night, but are you really dealing with it? Are you really processing it? Peace. I'm processing it. I'm dealing with it. I'm really resolving some shit within me, some shit with my father and things of that nature through the dream world. So don't sleep on the dreams. Don't sleep on the dream journal. Understand that these terrestrial changes are really to enact a change in your whole spiritual identity. So don't sleep on that. Let me think. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for to the astrology, but more to the esoterics of the day. The cards for August 15th are the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Two of Cups for the top tier. And so in the Thoth Tarot deck, the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands are in the Rider-Waite deck we'll call the King of Cups and the King of Wands. So I didn't pull these cards on purpose. I shuffle as many times as the day is and pull it just like that, and just out of random we get the King of Emotions and the King of Passion, and what is that, and what is that energy on the world? That world is, you know, maybe daddy fucked up, but daddy trying to make it right. You understand what I'm saying? And that energy is present. So how are you feeling towards your father? How can you find peace to understand that your father may have flaws, your father may have sinned, and you don't hold on to that energy and repeat those same mistakes, and really deal with the love that you have for your father simply because he created you? And if you love yourself, then by default you have to love your father in a sense. And I know there's different stories for different people, and I'm not trying to be insensitive, and if anything, we're not talking about a physical father, we're talking about a spiritual father. We have spiritual fathers and we have spiritual mothers that enter our lives when we fully awaken. And this is not a joke. They are called madrinos and padrinos. Look that up. Madrinos. M-A-D-R-I-N-O-S, P-A-D-R-I-N-O-S. So this is more of a padrino energy, more of an old godfather energy. And that energy is an energy full of love. If we can tap into that energy, that Obatala energy, that, you know, whatever pantheon you into, whether it's Nordish and it's Odin, or whether you a Christian and it's Jesus and God, who gives, like, I don't really care. When we deal with masculine ancestral male energy, you have to kind of deal with it too. You can't just be like, you know, the mother, and we love the mother, but we have to kind of understand the father energy as well, and how it shows up in our lives. And, you know, and honestly, it kind of shows up as cold and illogical, and sometimes daddy just got to do the right thing. Sometimes daddy just got to do the hard thing, but it's all out of love. And so this is just more of the energy of that top tier. The bottom tier, where we have the Ace of this, the Moon, and the Two of Swords. So this energy shows up to the people who are some scaredy cats, who, you know, afraid to tell somebody something, afraid to make that leap, you know, afraid to tell somebody how they feel, afraid to tell somebody their visions, because, you know, how is they gonna really feel about me, and you know, how any type of rationalizations that you can have towards your fears right now, you need to get over that, face them, go towards them, because on the other side is the Ace of this, which is a gift, you know, an ancestral gift, and it could come from the ancestral father energy, but also peace. The reason why you have no peace is because you haven't faced your fears. And I'm gonna repeat that. The reason why you have no peace is because you do not face your fears. The reason why you don't have any peace is because you don't face your fears. For if you faced your fears, you would have peace. So that's the bottom tier. Hope that resonated with the people. Very simple shit with the tarot. It's not really that complicated. The message is clear. It's like, well, what you gonna do with it? I can give it to you, but what you gonna do with it? You understand what I'm saying? Hoodmystic. Another energy reading for the day. Happy we got this done and over with, you know, and everybody could go through it in their dreams. In their dreams. Through their day, really connect to the spirit, really connect to that divine lineage, which is infesting the planet right now. And if you focused on what Jermaine and them doing up the street, I feel bad for you, man. You can contact me for a reading if you want, and if you don't want to contact me for a reading, that's fine. I just feel I'm gonna feel great regardless. That's today, man. It's a Mercury day, but it's a Jupiter day too. It's like Maybe tomorrow we'll talk about the mind or Mercury more, but this is really Jupiter influence. So, you know, pay attention to Jupiter energy, pay attention to the new energy that you possibly could create in this lifetime, throughout this day. You know, the things that you may do today might have a reverberating impact for the rest of your life if you are in tune, you know, because, you know, we're dealing with extraterrestrial. So when we say extraterrestrial, we have the terrestrial, which is life, the earth, and extra, some extra shit might happen, meaning some unusual, unexpected shit can happen. And then so, you know, extraterrestrial, have an extraordinary day. From the Hood Mystic, from my family. Much love, man. Peace.